This is Middle Class Matt from don'tbuythehype.blogspot.com, and I am the sports genius. And I have three great loves in sports: UNC Chapel Hill basketball, Carolina Panthers, and UNC football. Now, I've been hard on both the Panthers and the Tar Heels this year. The Tar Heels have been especially hard on their coaching. But today was a remarkable game. Now, there's two parts of this, and I want to talk about it. First, I want to talk about just how good this game was. Very few times football, even though it may be better as a whole and better when it comes to the whole game and the whole sport, very few times it produces the drama that a basketball game does. And the reason that is because basketball game comes down, team's down by 2, shoot up a 3, half court, long 3, bam, hits it, win the game. Now, football is phenomenal, and I love it. I talk about, look at all my football videos, so I am not trying to say basketball is better than football. In any way am I trying to say that. I like both of them. But what I'm saying is the basketball sport just automatically gives itself these last-second sort of heroics. Now, you see some of that in football, and you see, but you don't see quite as much. But you see a lot. You saw that today in the UNC State game. Now, I previewed this game and said a lot of things about Carolina's program, and even though Carolina won today, which I'm excited about, I saw a lot of the same things I talked about. One thing is that I said, if they don't put pressure on State's quarterback, Mike Glennon, if they don't do that, he's going to pick them apart. And he had a massive game. Massive game. I don't remember the final stats, but I know he threw for over 400 yards. He threw for 328 in the first half, and I believe he threw for like 4 or 5 TDs. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous monster game. But in the fourth quarter, they put pressure on him, and it really helped Carolina pull it out. Now, what I want to talk about more than anything is two people. First, Kevin Reddick. I'm from New Bern, and Kevin Reddick had a monster game. I mean, he looked like the defensive player that I always thought he would be. Now, he's been solid all year, leads the team at UNC in tackles. This guy's going to play in the NFL, definitely get drafted. But he was the dominant defensive player, racking up boatloads of tackles, bunch of tackles today, but 2 sacks. And from a linebacker that's not a rushing linebacker, that's pretty impressive. He hit a dominant ball game. But the man of the hour, so no doubt, it may be overstated, Gio Bernard. Over 300 yards total offense. 135 in the ground and nearly 100 in receiving, and then a huge kickoff return. Now, he pretty much put Carolina on his back. Last week against Duke, he almost pulled it out with Duke. And Carolina was playing, even though they outmatched Duke and outclassed him in every way talent-wise. And I got a lot of flack on my Duke video because people were telling me how Duke was a good football team. They were such a good football team, Duke, they lost 48-7 today. They are just so good. Good teams always lose 48-7. That is no big deal to lose by 41 points. You must be a good team. So all the Duke fans out there that said how good Duke was and put it on the video, thank you for being idiots. Thank you for being some of the stupidest fans in all of sports. But Gio Bernard, huge game. And he put Carolina on his back again. Almost pulled it out against Duke. And that's what I was talking about, and I'll get to that later about him. He led, or was the main force in the 2 drives. Carolina was down by 10. He was the main force driving down. Big, huge runs, big, huge catches and receiving. And they scored 7, and then they kicked a field goal to tie the game up. Then if he hadn't done already enough, and he had, it looked like they were going to go in overtime. And with 30 seconds, State punts the ball to Gio Bernard. He catches it around the 40-45 yard line. I'm at the game. I'm seeing this. I'm watching this. And I said, when I saw he had space for the first time, I said, Gio, take it to the house. Take it to the house. And sure enough, he did. Unbelievable. Hadn't seen that. 30 seconds on the clock, punt return, takes it to the house, wins the game, 43-35, UNC over State. First win in 6 years. Incredible. Incredible. And just such dramatics. Now, a lot of people say, oh, middle class, you're so excited about UNC now they won. You were putting them down after Duke. No. Tons of problems. Was unhappy with them the entire game. They turned the ball over twice in the red zone. Stupid stuff. I'll even have a video of that up. I'll put a video up later. I'm going to put up some videos from the game. I took some footage from my phone. I'm not a cameraman at the State Carolina game. I'm just picking up a little bit of footage from the stands. But Larry Fedora, still haven't seen what I need out of him coaching. What I see is that Gio Bernard's covering his butt. Gio Bernard is making him look good. When you have a special player like that, he pretty much just covers all the imperfections of your team. UNC didn't have good body language on the sideline. They didn't play disciplined football with State. State allowed them to stay in the game. Carolina should have scored 60 points on State. Offensively, they looked awesome. Defensively, Carolina is horrendous. People are saying, well, it's going to take a while for them to pick up on Fedora's system. Does that have anything to do with coverage? Because the corners and safeties can't cover. They're the worst corners and safeties I've ever seen at UNC. They have to be some of the worst in the nation at covering passes. State did whatever they want. Like I said, Glennon threw for like 400 and something, maybe 500 yards. It was ridiculous. I don't have a final stat on that. But just ripped them apart until the very end of the game when they started putting pressure on them and using the linebackers. So, anyway, Gio Bernard was incredible. Still not sold on Carolina. Don't think they're playing as well as they can. They're a very talented team. They haven't played up to their potential. But this is Middle Class Matt. I'll take the wins as I can get it as a UNC fan. And I'll see you next time.